Welcome to another interesting video. In this video, you're going to learn how to sew this safari suit. From my previous video, you must have learned how to draft the bodies, the pockets, how to draft and make the sleeves, and you must have learned how to go about stirring it, cutting the stairs, and every other aspect of it. So this is going to be the sewing tutorial. This is the sewing aspect of it. Let's move right into the video. To start with, I'm going to attach my pockets on the front panels, and I have already marked out where I want my pockets to stay, and I push in this pattern paper. If you notice that I'm using pattern paper under to stitch this pocket, this is always a professional way, because after stitching it, you realize that the bodies of the cloth will not rumple. There are some instances that when the pocket weight is bigger than that of the main fabric that you're stitching the pocket on, it will make the fabric to rumple. In this instance, to solve the issue, you have to insert your pattern paper, any paper at all, or you use your gum stay around the area that you're going to attach it. Then when you're done with that, it's going to give you a professional look. So after stitching the pockets, I'm going to go ahead and tear off these papers, because they're not going to stay like that. This is just for the purpose of keeping it in shape. So I'm going to rip it out now, like so. So do well to use this method to achieve a clean base. You can see how neat it looks. Then I'll go ahead and do that for the 4 pockets. So at this point, I am done attaching the pockets. So now I'm going to move over to attaching the lining. So I'll pick one piece for illustration, and that's what I'm doing for the 2 front pieces. Okay, so this is my lining. If you did not see how I cut it, check in the videos or you check the playlist. You're going to see how I cut this. So this is the down corner. You can see the overlap at the bottom and the folding at the hemline. So I'm notching that point there. That is the real corner. Then I'll flip it over like this, and I will match up the notched points together, and I'm going to skip half of an inch. Then I will join it from this point down to the corner here. If you can see the corner that is created by the crease, so I'm going to stitch it down to this point here. So just watch how I'm going to do that. After stitching it down like this, I will have to check it. Always check if it is balanced before you trim out the excess. You can see that everything is standing well. So I'm going to trim out the excess, leaving half of an inch like so. Then I'll place it this way, open it up with steam iron to lay flat like this before I turn it over. So when I'm done, this is what I have. I have opened it up and ironed it. So this is what I have at the corner. You can see how everything lies straight. I have done so on the 2 sides. So here is this second side. You can see how professional it looks. So now this is the front panel. I'm going to pick my lining now and match it up the way it should be, locating the lining for the parts that it belongs to. Then I'll pick one part and work on it. Okay, now watch as I'm matching this one like this. So after I match everything up, I'm going to basically flip it over to the other side like this. Okay, so I'll flip it over like this, and making sure that the upper parts really meet up with each other. The upper part is very, very important. So I'll take my time and align the upper part. Then I'll put it in the machine and stitch half of an inch right from the upper part of it. So anything I'm doing on one side, I'll do it on the other side too. So let me run the stitch now. When I get to this point, I'll stop and back tack. Let me zoom and show you how it looks like. Okay, so you see, in between the 2 joints, that's where I stop. Then I'll cut it off. So this is what I have here. So when I return it, you can see how it looked like. So I'm basically going to hold it like this and flip it over to stitch the down part of it. I have stitched the center front of it, and now I'm stitching the down part of it. So I'll just flip it like this. You can see how I turned it. Look at it here. Turn it like this, just like this, so that I'll match up the down parts with the down parts. So I'm going to match it up properly. Then I'll stitch it following the way it is. And when you're matching it, make sure that it gives you a sharp edge. If not, it's going to be bulky when you are trying to stitch it or when you are done stitching it. So just always make sure that your work is neat and presentable. So I'm going to run the stitch on the down part now. Okay, so turning it over, this is what I get. You can see how sharp and clean this corner is. Please always make your work neat. Okay, so I'm moving over to iron everything flat. Always iron at each step of your work. After ironing everything very well, I've taken a while to do this ironing. I just trim off this side, this part a little. After ironing, I'll go ahead and put the two fronts together. Then I'll carry the back panel and place it on top like this. Then I'm going to join the shoulder like that by half of an inch on both sides. So after joining it, this is what I have. Then I'm going to press it open. That's the seam. I'll open it up like this. Then when I'm done opening it up like this, I'll go ahead and attach my part. If you want me to do a tutorial on how to attach chest part on a suit or a blazer, just let me know in the comment section so that I can do a special video on that. So I'm just going to place my part, my shoulder part like this. This is not the same way that you do in regular suits. Remember that in regular blazers you will have a kind of lapel, while in this particular one there is no lapel. As such, you are not going to attach it the same way that you attach your regular suit chest part. So after measuring out my parts, I had to attach it to the shoulder, and let me show you how it looks like at the end of the day. So this is what I have. You can see it's already looking nice. So the next thing for me to do is to arrange it very well to make sure that everything lays flat and smooth. When I'm done arranging it like this, I'm going to pin it up. Then I'll take it to my sewing machine and I will run a stitch at the armhole to hold it down from here down to this part. Okay, when I'm done running a stitch, I'll show you the next step. So this is what I have. So I'll trim off this part because it's no more useful. On a regular blazer, you may decide to leave a little allowance, but this particular one, I don't want that puffiness that used to come out at the shoulder. So I just want mine to blend in. That's why I'm cutting out that allowance. So I want everything to be flat and balanced. Okay. So I'm done with that. You can see how it came out. It came out very beautiful on both sides. After that, I'm going to shape the side. So I'll put the side pieces together. That's the back piece and the front piece together, making sure that I match the fabric, the main fabric and the main fabric together, getting the lining out of the way. I'm going to pin it up to make sure everything balances well, and I'll shape it following the allowance that I added. So after shaping, this is what I got. You can see how everything is coming out. So the next thing is just for you to notch this corner like this. After this, I'm going to spread it out like this and give it a good press. I'm going to iron it out and form my slit. So I'll iron it to make sure that the back piece and the side piece moves together. So take your time and do your ironing. Okay, so I have iron out my slits, and this is what I got. At this point, I'm going to fold the back panel. You can see this is the point that I'm going to take note of how to fold the back panel. Although it's going to be 2 inches, but the little mistake you do, it may cost your back panel to be either longer or shorter than the front panel. So I'm still going to fold it now that I have finished joining it, to ensure that the slit overlaps it properly without excess on the front panel or shortage on the back panel. So everything is going to basically stay the same. When I'm done, this is what I got. See, everything is just very balanced, and at this point I'm going to repeat what I did at the center front. So I'm going to notch these 2 corners on the left, this point here, and on the other side too, just as I did in the front. So I'll also turn it over, and going to sew it as I did in the front. Okay, at this point I'm done, and I have ironed it down. Look at what I have at the end of the day. You can see how it looks so flat, so professional, so clean, with my half inch left. So I'm now going to attach my lining to it. So I'm going to pick up my back lining like this, then I'll place it, arranging it, then turn it right side facing each other, and I'm going to stitch here. That's out of the way. Now I'm going to stitch this side piece. That is the side part of the front panel. So I'm just going to close up from this slit point to this place. So I'll flip it like this and arrange it properly, and then I'm going to stitch down to that point. So guys, I'm so sorry I lost some clip. I don't know if I did not record them, but at the end of the day, this is what I got as my slate. It came out so beautiful, so nice, so wonderful. And all I did was just to close up the lining, and then I continued the other side the way I did it in the front panel. So that is what I had. So you can see it came out so beautiful. Everything was so balanced. You can see this part. If you stitch your outfit, whether it's suit or anything, and the lining is not just matching the way it is, you can see the down part, the allowance that I have is just rhyming through here. So always make sure your work is like that. If you do it and it's not rhyming, know that you are still on the path to progress. So the next thing is just for me to join the lining of the shoulder, shoulder to shoulder, and then I'll join the 2 shoulders. Then I'll show you what to do in fixing the collar. Okay guys, so have you seen how I made my vintage collar? If you've not seen, check the description box. There will be a video link to how to make a vintage collar. So just go through that video, then you will know how to cut the collar. So I'm just going to highlight some points here because I don't want the video to be too long, so that we can round up this particular video on how I went about fixing my collar. So let's do the collar together. You can see this is the front part. So I'm going to mark like 1 inch here, and that's my overlapping allowance. So I'll mark it and I will notch it by 0.25. Then I'll move over to the other side and match it up and make sure that the notch rhymes each other. So 0 point by 1 inch by 0.25. So I'm going to flip that side inside out. That means I'm turning the whole place inside out, and this is the point. So I'll close it like this with a stitch, and I'll also turn to the other side and close it by 0.25. Now from that notch point, let us see how long the collar will be, the main collar. So I'm taking it from one notch point to the other, and it's giving me 15 inches. So this 15 inches I'm going to use in drafting the collar. As I said, if you've not seen how to draft the collar, check the link below in the description box. So after drafting the collar, I pasted it on my fabric. Always make sure that you use a good stay in everything that you do. Now let's stitch round. Another hack is when you're stitching, don't make it too close to the stay. Please let it be like 1/8 of an inch away from the collar stay. So I'm going to stitch round now like this. After stitching, I notch the edges, then turn it inside out. There is no top stitch. I'm just going to iron it with my hemming gum to give me that professional look. So I'm done ironing it, and this is what I got. So what I'm going to do is to continue the top stitch to close down the open end that I turned the thing out. Then I trim it off. After stop stitching, I trim out the excess and it's ready to be fixed on the fabric. I located the center part of it and also located the center back. So this is where I'm going to join the center to center. Then when I'm sure of it, I'm going to start here and stitch round to the center and then to the other end. When I'm done stitching, this is what I got. You can see how the collar fits in very well. So I'm going to just turn it with the lining now. So you can see I will now flip everything inside like so. Then I will match up the neckline like this. You can see after turning it inside out, I will match up the neckline with the lining. Then I'm going to stitch. Now the collar is going to stay in between. So guys, after stitching, so this is what I have. You can see how neat it is. Now let me show you how the right side is like. So I'll flip it to the right side and this is what I have. Very beautiful. I mean, I loved what I had at the end of the day. So I'm trying to arrange everything neatly. So I'll fold it up like this and iron it, and that is it in fixing the collar. Now to the sleeve, I have already made the sleeve. So if you've not seen the tutorial on how I made the sleeve, go ahead and check in the link below. You're going to see how I made this sleeve. And then if you don't know how to attach it, I'm going to still leave a link below so that you can check out how I used to attach my suit sleeve. So that's the same method that you're going to use. So guys, at the end of the day, I attached the sleeve and I was done with that. It came out super great. So beautiful. Can you see this? Can you see this? Oh my god, this was great. So guys, if you've not yet subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell. Feel free to share this video to anybody that needs it. Please share it, there's no problem. Like it, comment. Go ahead and drop your comments in the comment section, please. I am really in need of that, your comments. Thank you guys for staying tuned. Coming up next on the tutorial series, we are going to vote for the outfits that we're going to make tutorials on in the next video. So please do well to join us using the WhatsApp link that is in the comment section and also in the description box to our group. If you join the group, you will have the probability of dropping your outfits for us to make tutorial on through the link. So do well to join us through the link. So when I was done with this outfit, I took some moments to gush over it because it was giving, like it was hot and it was really interesting. So at the end of the day, I'm just the finishing to attach some few buttons on it and every other thing. And for me, it's a bye-bye for now.